while, I think about, obviously the way that people can watch television and movies. And we were talking about earlier about movie theaters and, the drama between us and movie theaters. It's an interesting thing to me because you think about how resilient movies have been.
Yes.
And how resilient the novel has been.
Right.
Just the form. So every new thing is going to kill that thing.
Right, right.
And I think hopefully by 2035, we're not going to be thinking that way about the next new evolution in entertainment, because we'll be able to look back in history and see that television didn't kill movies, even though the studios fought so hard against it.
Right.
They didn't license movies to television until 1967. So they were so sure that television was going to kill movies that they wouldn't allow movies on there. Home video didn't kill movies. If anything, it's actually grown the movie business by having more people love the art of, the act of watching movies.
Right.
And I think we're doing the same thing. So, and every time we go through these new iterations of technology, there's a lot of resistance to it. And then ultimately, if you're innovating on behalf of fans and consumers, that's always going to prove to be a good thing. And if people want to do things and you're providing them that thing, that's a good winning business plan. But saying, how are we going to keep movies out of your hands for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is with new technology and piracy and all these other things, I think that's bad business. So for us,
do you think a movie should open in the theaters and on TV at the same night?
Well, this was the argument in Cannes, right? The Cannes Film Festival invited 2 of our original films, Okja and the Meyerowitz Stories, to premiere at Cannes, and it was a big deal because it was the first time that they picked a movie that wasn't made for theatrical release to be in the festival. Now, a film festival is meant to celebrate the art of filmmaking.
Right.
And a lot of things that you'll see at a film festival have no commercial viability at all. And it really is kind of the role of a film festival.
Right.
And so somehow that morphed into this thing about that if a movie, in order now, they changed the rule midstream of the film festival to change the rule so that in order to get into the Cannes Film Festival, your movie has to appear in a theater in France. So, in other words, this thing that may not have a commercial viability must be commercially released to be in Cannes. So it's kind of evolved into this not even an independent selection process anymore, if they stick by that rule. But what I love about it is they picked those 2 movies because they thought they were among the 2 best movies of the year, anywhere in the world. It's an international film festival. Thierry has one of the most brilliant programming taste imaginable. And he picked those movies way back. We were meeting on those movies way back in February. And then when we got in, there was this great controversy, and then Pedro Almodovar said he was the chairman of the jury, and he said, I can't imagine a movie winning the Palme d'Or having not been in a theater in France. And what's interesting is a lot of movies win the Palme d'Or with no distribution at all. Right. So 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days got distribution at the festival. So it's not unusual for movies to go into the festival without any distributor. So that is kind of the nature of film festivals. And I got to tell you though, the experience of being on that I've been on crazy red carpets before, but that red carpet at Cannes experience for the filmmakers, for the actors in the film, for me personally, it was mind blowing. It was so reverential to film that you feel like you're going into a church. It's a fantastic experience. But if it ceases to be about the celebration of film and filmmaking, I don't think it can continue to be that relevant.
Right.
You had a Cannes experience.
I did. We had B movie at the Cannes Film Festival, and I dressed up like a bee and went on a cable from what was the name of that hotel? I can't remember. And then
Carlton? Was it the Carlton?
Yeah. Now here's the crazy part of that story. So they have these guys. Remember the opening of the Olympics in Greece, and they were flying all these people around? This is some British company that does this with cables. They're like astronaut people. So those were the guys that were hired to run me down this cable as a bee with my giant bee hat. And I did it because I thought Steve Allen would do this, and I always loved Steve Allen, and I thought, so I'm going to do it too. So you go down the thing, they unclip you, then they turn you around, clip you back on, and then you go back up. Okay, so I go down, I go back up. We're going to do it twice. And they're all radios, very buttoned down people, because we're throwing this comedian off a hotel roof. So let's not mess it up. It's going to kill the opening weekend if this guy goes splat. So I get up to the top of the thing, they unclip me, and they're supposed to tell me, give me like a countdown that we're going to go now. And they don't. And the next thing I know, I'm going off the front of this hotel roof, and I don't know if I'm clipped on or not. And it's just a bee costume. I'm not a real bee. I cannot fly. And for 2 seconds there, I thought, wow, this is a hell of a way to go out. What a finish for my life and career right here. Thank you, Jeffrey Katzenberg.
You say to yourself, this is why I got into the entertainment
That's
business.
right.
It's like being in a bee costume.